Red dot on the screen, therefore it means it's puzzle gauntlet time. Would have had this video out a whole heck of a lot earlier, but fatigue, sleep, food, all that there is necessary. This event here is gonna have Captain America, Worthy, Misty Knight, Quake, Mystique, and Thor. Mystique and Thor are ascended for the record, and I believe this one here is, yeah, the song about colors. Colors, you see them all around. It's about the happiest song in town. All you gotta do is stand up and sit down. Clear out green tiles. New tiles have an increased chance to be purple. On our turn, tiles have a decreased chance to be green. Amadeus Cho is going to create green with his blue countdown tile. With the purple, that's Black Widow. Hers will be randomly distributed because the AI doesn't know how to handle powers. Quake is the solution to this here. Um, at this point in time here, I really don't care about not using boost. Again, there's no clear strategy. I mean, there is a clear strategy. It's just make sure that green quickly gets off the board, and Quake can do that there. And also too, whenever Chofire completes his countdown tile, it will randomly put some placement on blue tiles, so we don't have to worry for green tiles randomly. So we do get cascades from time to time. Alright, there's that. I'm gonna grab this green here. I'm gonna see the math of it. Hopefully she didn't match the purple. Great. Uh, Alright, we can't fire off Quake's green just, well, we can fire off her green, but we can't fire off her blue just yet, and the reason why, it removes 8, and there are definitely more than 8 green tiles on the board. And then Widow's gonna add some more of them on the board. Cho's gonna get a burst of healing, and I'm just making sure I don't make a fatal mistake. And so by giving them, too much green. Alright, so let's resonance frequency, get rid of all this green here. Do it again. Good deal. Alright, there goes the first part of the rewards there. Advanced support tokens. Alright, 15 purple tiles at once. New tiles have an increased chance to be blue. Nightcrawler's purple will require, well, it'll put the most present color of tiles on the board. So if it happens to be blue, he'll activate more blue. Red is whatever, it's a damage dealing move, and blue is gonna steal AP. Again, we don't really care about the AP stealage that much. Same thing with Mortal. Mortal can steal AP with his purple. Again, don't really care too much about that. We do care about his blue ability because it will turn our strongest color into black charge tiles. And if you watched my Crash of the Titans video, you know pretty much about Mortal stuff. Alright, so here, put infiltration up to 5. We're not going to be using Master Stroke. Again, this here is my Ascended Mystique. As you can see, she's got some levels in her. Again, have 15 purple tiles on the board. And again, we know that her blue will put out purple tiles on the board, as we have 6. That's 12. Well, I was gonna make the if 6 were 9 thing from Jimi Hendrix. I'm not doing that brain rot meme, you know, involving that number there. I'm gonna use green, so Mordo can drain green. Man, I would love it if the AI would, or if I made better matches that didn't leave the AI getting blue. Staff Legal Tribunal, whatever. I'm gonna go match this one here. That'll work. Alright, we'll take a hit there. I may have to stun Mordo so that he doesn't, yeah, he doesn't do that there. Alright, and then Nightcrawler can do whatever he wants to. That's one of those tactical decisions. And now Nightcrawler's gonna ruin the board, of course. Of course your son would do that, Raven. Again, he can steal it. I don't care. All right, we got a few instances that we can activate infiltration. So let's go ahead and do that. That's 5. That's okay. 9. That's 10. Okay, we'll take that. It's a, again, I don't know why AI assistant activated at that point in time there. It shouldn't be listening to my voice at this point in time, but whatever. Alright, change the pace round 1, have 12 green tiles at once. The only person that we have to worry about really about destroying tiles is Magneto, because his blue ability will destroy some tiles on the board. Alright. Let's make this here a whole heck of a lot easier. So we'll use Amadeus Cho, because we've used him. You can use Black Widow. That's the 3-star Black Widow, not the 2-star. or the 4-star or the 5-star. Have to clarify that there. Kamala Khan, and then sure we'll use Storm as a third. Why not? And yeah, it doesn't really matter too much that Mockingbird is going to steal some AP anytime we make a match 4 or greater. You know, at this point in time here, all we're trying to do is get green tiles on the board. And that's going to be a little bit problematic now. Magnetic inhibitor. You'll see why in a second. Anytime that a special tile hits the board, Magneto will destroy it and then deal some damage to whomever. So that is problematic. Again, whether it's strike tiles, attack tiles, protect tiles, whatever the case might be. Alright, so we do have enough purple, good deal. See how much green we got. Oh, we just need 1 green tile on the board. Alright, cool. Let's put it on purple. Man. Alright, Magneto destroy some tiles. So, yeah, there goes the Magneto polar coordination. So we got to see at least 2 of Magneto's abilities. Alright, change the pace round 2. 13 red tiles at once. Sentry will destroy red tiles with his red ability. Hulkbuster will give out red AP with his black ability. And should we target Captain Marvel with some form of damage, or we reach her damage potential, she will generate red and black AP. And then also to Hulkbuster, he can convert green tiles into red of the basic variety, you know. So just doing my due diligence. So let's see here. I know Magic creates red with her repeater. Alright, again, don't know why I couldn't think of repeater. I know purple ability, repeater, same difference. Let me think here. Who else can create or generate? Well, I know folks who can generate red. That's no problem. But creating red and just using the 4-star tier, my options are a little bit limited. Well, they'll get increasingly more limited as I get more folks into 5-star land, and I don't know why I was overthinking this here. Get Riri and one of her synergistic partners that I use, and that's Ragnarok. We'll bust up 370 again. The blue ability doesn't really matter too much. We'll probably end up using the both of them for the what is it? Having blue tiles on the board at once. Again, I try not to use the same teams over and over again, but again, I'm all about making sure that you guys and gals get the right information and make this here as painless as possible. Again, we're not worried about red matches. Alright. Black we're kind of worried about, but red not so much. Ruler of Limbo, activate that. There. World Rupture, I don't really care. Alright. There's Hulk Proof, and there we go. Thank you, Stark. You did something positive. Alright, clear all yellow tiles. Sandman will create yellow with his purple ability. Thor will generate yellow with his red ability, and I'm trying to remember how Iron Man 40 punishes us for making red matches or matches in our strongest color. I forget which. Now again, the simplest solution, but we'll rely on Quake with this one here. Or alternatively, hang on, we won't use Quake. We'll see here. Where is she? Black Widow, because I normally don't use her, but we will use her. Let me think here. Who else can convert tiles? Well, let's go with Scarlet Witch. And then I'm gonna go with North Star. And the reason why North Star, I primarily want to use his black ability up north. Um, as you can see, 6 basic tiles, the enemy's second strongest color to the top of the board. Once we get into the match, you'll see second strongest color, Thor, yellow. Due diligence on Iron Man, Girl Friday. Yeah, that's what it is. Whenever the team makes a match in the strongest color, still 1 AP of that as red AP. Alright. Now, our strongest color happens to be black, or actually blue. But frankly, my dear, I don't care. That gets rid of some of the tiles on the board. Again, we're looking for purple, we're looking for black primarily. I want to wait to run early. Alright, again, go back and target Thor. Alright. Now the reason why I brought Black Widow into the fight. Target that one, target that one, target that one, target that one, target this one, target that one. So it says clear all yellow tiles. It didn't say about removing them from off the board or any tile conversion. There's multiple ways to think outside the box. All right, 14 black tiles at once. Domino's going to create black for us. So it says no black tiles will fall. Domino's going to create black for us to a degree. Punisher and Red Hulk, and we don't really care too much about their abilities. Not too much anyways. They're just there for window dressing. Alright, so to help us generate a little bit more black, we got Cloak and Dagger. I will break out my own domino to help with the black generation. And then I'm trying to think here, who else? Nightcrawler? Yeah, to help with a little bit more of the proliferation of black. Alright. We wanna. I'll have Frank out in front. Alright, let's try the darkness kicking in. The one thing we do have to worry about Domino, we have to make sure that she doesn't generate or grab enough red EP. She can and will destroy half the black tiles on the board. We also do have to worry about Frank somewhat. Which does have red crap, so that doesn't do us any good. Not at this stage. That's 14 plus 11, so that's 10, 9. Alright, well, let's go ahead and steal it red. We'll take a little bit of the hit. A little bit of a board shake. Alright, just one more black. Well, now two more black. Alright, let me check Nightcrawler. There we go. Most present on the board happens to be black. And after the cascade settles, we're still betting on black. Alright. Still that. I'm not trying to knock him down. Just deal a little bit of damage. Probably should have grabbed that purple. Alright, let's enter the fray. Because Red Hulk is about to snatch up all the green, like the thief he is. He's a thief. Alright, now it's a matter of there's Merciless Charge. Okay. It would be really nice if I could convert Cloak and Dagger back to yellow so that we could do those shenanigans. Make it so that one of these characters is weak. Well, there goes my domino. Alright, we're back to 8, now 11. Alright, we got Pocket Dimension, so now we can at least get some healing. Maybe. Possibly. Not likely. Alright, let's see here. That's on Punisher, because I need black and ASAP. Knock him down. Punish doesn't do too much. Again, Child of Light. Again, I desperately need the healing. Nope, I disappear. Alright, still some more red. It's still green. Let's get rid of this green. Still green. Eh. Usually that does work. It does. But it didn't. Oh well. we'll we'll reload it again. Now, do I want to use? And let's use the 3-star version. Why not? Or Ascended 4-star, 2-star. Yeah. I know it's a mouthful. And then that one there. Again, we're literally reloaded back into the fight. And see, Spider Portation pretty much still does the same thing. Whatever the most present color on the board is. So right now it looks like it's green, but we have an extra wrinkle. We make strike tiles. Whenever we make matches in our strongest color. And that's red. We definitely don't want that. Alright, let's see where we're at. 11. Enter the fray. That drops it down a little bit. You can still steal the green. I'm not adverse to that. Alright, that's blue. We can get rid of some of the blue. Now it's still blue. Now it's green. Ew, that puts a wrinkle in things severely. Gamma Siphon we don't use. Green. Don't want green. Boo to green. Boo to green. Bye, Nightcrawler. Nice knowing you. Bye, Cloak and Dagger. It was nice knowing y'all too. Guess we'll reload. Go back with my stronger domino. Let's see here. I don't have to worry too much about Nightcrawler because I got Nightcrawlers for days. I went digging in the earth to go get Nightcrawlers. Terrible joke, I know. Let me think here. I guess Cloak and Dagger will have to work again because I can't think of any more characters that can create black tiles. That's the thing. Generating black? Oh, much easier solution there, but actually having black and creating black on the board, that tends to be a little bit more difficult. Alright, turn the tracker back on. Alright, there's Child of Darkness. Let's get it off of Red Hulk before he decides, hey, I'm gonna blow up your board. Well, the board's about to get blown up anyways. Child of Darkness. That's a decent-ish cascade. And the computer's like, hey, I'll one-up you. See, you can't even activate that there. Yeah, I will. Drop this here down, grab some purple. See what the tile, oh, well, that's yellow, still the red. Tactical decision. Darkness Hungers, put it on Frank. Grab green. So that way his Mercy Charge doesn't hurt as much. Alright, so there's a little healing going on. Gamma Siphon, whatever. Still the red. Again, no sense in... Well, we're gonna have to switch Cloak and Dagger. Back real quick. Or maybe not. Alright. Alright, let's enter the fray again. What do we have most present? Yellow. Grr. Well, my domino is now officially gone. Alright, Banff is on green. I mean, literally keeping Frank in darkness hungers. I mean, that's definitely a strategy for sure. But the downside is we are massively in need of black. Massively. Let's see here, it's still yellow. I'm about to take a business decision hit there. It's still yellow, not want. Team up. Hopefully Domino will destroy some tiles for us. Still yellow. Come on, you yellow belly coward. So that ends that. We'll activate light light knives, why not? And then Frank is gonna down somebody. Well, okay, he didn't down him just yet. Good. That's red, that's 10, but we're still in the fight though. Temporarily. It's 10. I can't target the green just yet. Charlotte Darkness again. Light knives is team damage. We don't want to do that. Still that red. We do want to do this. And back to 10. Stalemate. It's 12. That's gonna drop us a little bit, but I'd rather take that green. Don't give them the opportunity to get green. Or as much green, put it that way. Smash that yellow. Give them a match 4. And the color that I didn't want them to take. Damn, that's red. I don't need red. I want black. And there's Punisher Merciless Charge. Nightcrawler will survive, but it ain't gonna be too much longer because Frank's strike tiles are gonna take us out the fight. So so eh. All right. Well, it's time for alternative strategy B. Or yeah, the reason why I call it B because well, we need Black Widow for this. Uh, strong level, strong Nightcrawler, strong them, and it literally requires me to do the one thing that I don't want to do, and that's take Black off the board. But once I get it going, they will not have another turn. Grab that. Thank you for entering the fray, Domino. I will live with that. Cool. Have that. Destroy these 9 random tiles. Boy, fray again. We are not. We are not at the step that I needed to be at. We are definitely not the step that I needed to be at. Green, fine. Oh, well, we're a few steps there, and just need the one thing that I'm looking for on the board. I haven't gotten it yet. Alright, got this part. The strategy. Sadly though, see here. Put it on Nightcrawler. Turn you to sleep. Turn you to sleep. Alright, we're still on green. Let's do that red. Still red again. Get make some stuff cheap. That's still on green. Where are we at right now? That's yellow. That's an improvement, but not what we want. All right, is this what we want? Yep, there it is. Yep. All right. So that's one of my. When I get it started right, it is an infinite win team with Black Widow and Nightcrawler. I mean, it takes a little bit longer for it to get started, but once it gets started, you You get all those black cascades from Nightcrawler's purple. The enemy team gets stunned. They essentially don't have a turn. All right, clear all team up tiles. We know Storm. She will clear out at level 3. I think it's 5 team up tiles. Kingpin, his purple will steal AP from our strongest color to give them yellow. And then Jane Foster Thor, she's there to create chaos with her charge tiles. Alright. I did use Storm earlier in the fight, or a version of Storm. So we will use the Ascended Storm. We don't really need black. Destroy all team up tiles. Well, 7 team up tiles. Then I'm going to use my Magneto, the 3-star Magneto. Use his red ability. And then I guess for I'm trying to think here. Who can I use really as a backup? Just in case things happen to go awry. No, I don't really need Nico. Rogue, you'll be fine. Cause she'll mitigate some of the damage. So as long as the AI makes a match in one of Rogue's colors, she'll jump out in front. So that helps out a bit. And then let's see here. Yours is black, hers is green. So what we'll do is we'll target Storm whenever we get enough. Or no, we'll target Jane Foster Thor. I'm overthinking it. Cause guess what? We need red AP. Whoops. Gloves off. Yep, that's what I want. I want red. Now, Storm, go ahead and do your thing. Oh, well, I thought you were gonna do your thing. Alright, so we are at the threshold for that there. Polarizing Force. Mistress of the Elements. Boom. Just make sure I had enough yellow, or make sure that you have enough yellow, just in case Magneto's charge tiles or his red ability doesn't blow up the board. Or blow up the team up tiles, I should say. Alright, puzzle it over. The fun part where I'm limited. Have 12 blue tiles at once. For those who don't know, Black Doctor Doom. Goodness. Doctor Doom's black, or his blue ability, will convert all blue tiles to black. Elektra's red ability is going to steal AP and all 3 of her colors. That's going to be purple, red, and black. Again, if you watch the Crash of the Titans video, I did discuss that there. And in Hawkeye, whenever a black or enemy special strike attack or projectile is matched, he's going to gain blue AP, he can heal with his black, and he can do some stuns too. And then new tiles have an increased chance to be purple, so that there just screams out, hey, use Mystique! But To supplement her, we are going to use our good friend. No, not you, Quicksilver. We are going to use an ascended character, even though I used him once before. That's Ragnarok. Would utilize his red to create blue tiles on the board. And then let's see here. Can't really use Morbius. Shuri would be cool, but not really necessary. Don't want to use Wiccan. Oh yeah, you can use Namor. You're like, huh? Namor creates blue. So, the Feeding Frenzy, Feeding Frenzy blue, blue basic tiles from there, and then Lessons of the Deep. Again, see? As long as he has that tile out, boom. Boom. Then create them. Where are we at so far? 10. No big deal. Double cross. We don't really care. Yeah, no good news. Whatever. Sorry, Doom. Get stunned. Get shreked. Yeah, we'll just, yeah, continuously steal AP. Oh no, you stole my strike tiles. Whatever will I do? Alright, there's that. We'll let Mystique get stunned, or we'll let that there happen. Cool. Alright, clear all yellow tiles. New tiles have a chance to be charged tiles. Charge tiles is Strong's specialty with his Pet Avengers Assemble ability. Carol will punish us for making matches in our strongest color. And I think she's going to be fed black from the Eradicator. We'll look at the Eradicator's stuff in a minute. Alright, so we got to clear all yellow tiles. So I haven't used Thor. And I haven't used you. Quake, we will use you. Alright, so there we go. So now we can get rid of all the other tiles if necessary. If the AI happens to make a match 4, guess what? Captain America, if he wasn't already out in front, would go out in front and handle my lightweight. Oh yeah, Eradicator. Let's see his. Okay. Tile. Put somebody out in front. see. Yeah, I would like to stun, but beggars can't be choosers. Alright, let's go ahead and get rid of the time. And again, we don't really care too much about Carol's manipulation. Not so much. Blow up the board. Second decision, that hurts a little bit, but I did that there just to take advantage of resonance frequency to get rid of those yellows. We'll do it again. Hopefully that tile did not become green, because if it did, well, I mean, we still had a match 5 cascade. Alright, clear all red tiles. Star-Lord can benefit that there if your character happens to have the strongest color in red with his yellow ability. But the downside is he's going to create green charge tiles that fuels his green ability. MODOK, on the other hand, he will generate red, so he could be one of those characters that if you needed to gain, you needed red tiles on the board, he can do it with his black ability, though the downside is he gives our team attack tiles, and then you have to worry about his doomsday plan. We're not really worried about that there. Hella, she can create stuff with her red. She can create strike tiles on her red, well, with her red ability, placing any of those attack tiles that MODOK gave us. She'll punish us with her green ability if we have too much green, and then her black will create, what is it? Attack tiles on blue. So yeah, fun times. Alright, Misty, we haven't used you, so there we go. We're gonna go with, we'll go with Quake, and then we'll go with another Inhuman, Kamala Khan. Again, just to make it really simple. We'll throw on these team ups here, why not? Because it doesn't affect the outcome of the battle too much. So, chasing purple, chasing green. Once we get it, boom. Yeah, it gives them the mother of all cascades on black, but it'll be alright. Alright, there's Bionic Beatdown. Go ahead and activate that. Heal in. So let's go ahead and start getting rid of some of this. Majority of it. Alright, and then that red tile there will be gone, and that is your fight. Yeah. The longest one was the was this node here, the change of pace round 4, but that's the one I usually take out quickly. Anyway, puzzle gauntlet's done and dusted, and that took about an hour. All right. The rewards for Puzzle Gauntlet, as you see here, your featured four-star characters. You have an opportunity for the featured support, always in this slot here. Featured threes, featured threes, random assortment of threes, red ISO 8, basic support tokens, random 2-star heroes. Probably gonna skip it for this one here because nobody here I really need levels on, and we got two opportunities to get Eros' arrow. Nothing really new in the offers except for the Century Horseman of Death costume, which that actually looks pretty dope. Not gonna spend $10 for it though. Alright, before we get to Eros' arrow, we do have to look at the supports for this month here. Alright, Art Reactor. This here is pretty much necessary for Shield Clearance 9, Shield Clearance 10. You want the Art Reactor on Iron May so that her, Riri Williams, the 5-star Riri Williams, Ironheart 3.0, and Frankie Ray Nova can just one shot pretty much almost every node in the game. Almost every node with the exception of the challenge nodes. Stark Tower, whatever. Black Widow's Batons, good way to gain 4 purple AP or 5 purple AP, I think, when it's maxed out. Chimichanga's excellent way to gain red and purple AP should you match red and purple AP. Doesn't necessarily have to be on Deadpool. I use it on Shang-Chi. Color Obsidian. I don't think I use him too much. Story Gun, just leave it on Coulson. Um, if he happens to down somebody or he gets downed, he'll do some extra damage. Big whoop. Uh, Element Guns, I don't use that there as much. It's on Star Lord. Eros' Arrow. This was big in PvP. PvE, you can use it on, or I use it on my Deathlock, Dark Veil, and Kang team, just so I can mitigate some sort of damage on those challenge nodes. I mean, it ain't that much, but every little bit helps. Shield Carrier, Helicarrier makes your character invisible at the start of the battle. Big whoop. Hellfire Club. I've seen some uses of this in PvP. Again, I'll have to dig deeper into it, but again, I'm personally not fond of the other stuff, but I imagine once I get a higher level Sebastian Shaw, it can probably do some shenanigans. Kamoyo beads, if you need fortified projectiles, whatever, cool deal. Lucky Pizza Dog, if you're using Polaris, this is probably one of the best ways you can heal with her. Mirror Image, eh, it should have been an ability built in on Loki to begin with. Refreshment Cart, this is actually pretty decent, though there are some conflicts involving folks getting airborne and stunned, so you do have to worry about that. Sanctum Sanctorum, what is this one here? Is this the one that gives you, that creates projectiles? Or is this the one that gives you yellow AP at the start? I'll double check and see before we pull. Uh, Stormbreaker gives you an opportunity to get red, yellow, or green AP, I believe. Well, I know it's yellow AP at the start of the battle, and then if you happen to match one of those three, we'll look at that there too. Symbiotic Goo, that's what I use on my Mr. Sinister to create some trap tiles, get some healing, yada yada yada. Uh, Blackbird, if you make a match 5 or greater, it can increase the strength of one of your strike tiles. I use it on Old Man Logan. Sure, it increases his blue match damage, but it's whatever. Deadpool, I use this here on Deadpool. Good way to get uh damage on an opponent or heal one of your guys if need be. Tinkerer, again, all those abilities should have been on Prowler to begin with, but that's neither here nor there. Vibranium Orb gives you blue AP anytime you make a blue match. Fortify some projectiles, cool. And Yara Root, as I always mention about Yara Root, if you need to gain 5 AP in red or excuse me, green, or in this case at level 5, 6 green AP, yeah, you kind of need Yara Root and Atlantis to compete in PvE. That's just a fact of life. Alright, so Sanctum Sanctorum and Stormbreaker are the two I need to look at before we get uh, into it. Okay, I do have Cold Obsidian on my boy Null, so you can see this is it at level 5. Gains green AP. Chimichanga, got this here on Shang-Chi. So you can see what this here is at level 5. Sanctum Sanctorum. Okay, yeah, this is the one, yeah, uh, that creates tech tile for every 3 blue tiles on the board. And it also gives you yellow AP too. So I wasn't tripping out about the yellow AP. This, Doctor Strange has a couple of those. Well, Wong, his is well, the Wong support is similar to it, getting yellow AP, I believe. See, that's what I mentioned about that third the match fives. Make a match team strongest color. As you can see, you can you can read it right there. Pause the video if necessary. And then this is what I mentioned about Wong, the master of the mystic arts. Uh, gain blue AP. And then this is the one if you fire a stun, then you have a chance to increase the stun. Yara Root, and I got this here level 5, 80% chance to gain 6 green AP. Put it on Nova. Alright. Black Widow's batons, again, that's the purple. Element guns. We'll look at Destroyer gun real quick. So you can see what it is on Coulson. Gain extra team up AP, purple match damage is increased. Element guns, I got this here on the 5-star Star Lord. Creating attack tiles, yellow match damage, and purple match damage is increased. And then gains 3 random AP for every Guardian of the Galaxy. And that's the 3-star Star Lord. No, I got it on the 5-star. I'm tripping. I had it on the 4-star Star Lord. That's what it was. Shield helicarrier, as you can see, that's that there. Let's see here. What else we need to look at? I'm not looking to see if you had a good goo. We do have the Stormbreaker. That was the other one that I wanted to look at. Hellfire Club. Yeah, makes attack tiles. Reduce enemy ability max damage. Can be useful. And again, that can be useful too with Sebastian Shaw. Again, we will look at arrows once we get ready to look at that there. This is the multiversal snack card. Again, shout out to those who played Marvel Puzzle Quest back when we had environment tiles. Fire for power, get a snack. And then Stormbreaker deals damage to enemies or well to villains. Base match damage is increased, and at the start of the battle, you create red, yellow, or green basic tiles. So that's what it was. Not AP, but yeah. What is my favorite support? In fact, before we get in too deep, Black Widow's batons because I'm trying to get that there at level 5, so I can gain the purple AP. So by the time, if I get to 1600, well, Family Legends that's available as a store. Nobody really cares. Or let me rephrase that. The folks in the Family Legends nobody really cares about. Alright, so we'll pull 10 basic support tokens. And then we'll look at Arrow's Arrow. We'll go from there. Or Destroyer Gun. I kind of wish though with Star-Lord with the quad blaster they would have had some way to incorporate that there into his character. Uh, and I'm gonna get back to that thought in a minute. I gotta handle some business. As I was mentioning before, I had to go get me a sip of water or go get a bottle of water. I said about the quad guns. I'd like to have seen an element of that there in the game. Kind of similar to how Crystal has the option of choosing which one of the 4 powers she can use. Kind of similar to that there with the quad guns. Yarroot, yay. That's more levels into that. More levels into that. Alright, more levels into that. And then I'll open up these 3 master support tokens to round out the festivities, at least for the first portion of this here. Alright. Now, Arrow says Arrow. If you do this right, you have a guaranteed chance of getting a 3-star. So if you don't have one, you get a guaranteed one. 1 out of 8 chance of getting a 4-star, and 1 of 40 of getting a 5-star. There is an opportunity for you to get a 5-star. I've done so in these videos here. You know, Let's see here. Which one did I do it with? I think we did it with Omnipotent City. That one there, and then the one with the Black Panther. Or, well, Omnipotent City for sure. Again, there's a level on that. Oh, why didn't it? Why didn't it go down? Okay, there we go. I'm worried. And there's another level 3. Alright, so there is that. And then we're gonna look at how that support there works. Because I know it is at level 3 because it's on Dark Veil. Alright, at rank 1, if one doesn't exist, you create a 5-turn love struck tile targeting a random enemy and an ally in the front. And the love struck enemy deals 80% reduced damage while this tile exists. At rank 3, whenever the love struck enemy performs a match 4 or greater, you gain 3 AP in the love struck ally's strongest color, max of 6. And whenever the love struck ally makes a match 4 or greater, deal 3.43% of max health damage to the love struck enemy, and the enemy loses 3 AP and that enemy's strongest color. And again, max of 6. And then rank 5, whenever the love struck enemy fires a power, the love struck ally gains a burst of health of 6.35% of max health. And then whenever the love struck ally fires a power, you stun the love struck enemy for a turn. And this stun can occur only once per love struck tile. That's a hard once per turn. What I mean by that, whenever that love struck tile that you have that's on the board, that's for 5 turns, you can't create another one. And when that one there ceases to exist, when the next one activates, then you can stun them again. And then the synergy perk to archers, so that's Hawkeye, that's Kate Bishop, and Loki. Again, that's just to name a few. The love struck tile is fortified, and then it deals to it targets the current enemy instead of a random enemy, and you deal 3.8% of max health damage to the enemy target if the love struck tile after it's created, meaning it doesn't miss. Alright, now we will do our due diligence real quick. We will filter that there by affiliations, and we're going to type in archers. So Shang-Chi, Kate Bishop, like I mentioned, Loki, Hawkeye, well, all the various versions of Hawkeye, and Bullseye, because again, Bullseye never misses. Kraven the Hunter, Legion, because one of Legion's um, different identities happens to be an archer. Gator Loki, because again, Loki variant. Yondu, I mean, makes sense with his Yaka arrow. Taskmaster copies anybody's abilities. Not photorealistic, but photogenic memory. And again, he's trained his senses in his body to uh, peak levels. So yeah. Silver Samurai, again, how he was trained, using arrows, and come on now, it's feudal Japan. And that is it, because everybody else here is more or less a duplicate. So those are all your archers right there. That is it for this video here. As I mentioned in the Deadpool Daily video, or the Crash the Titans video, tower, I'll do that there whenever feel like it. Again, I got 20 days to do it. I'm not gonna do it Easter weekend. Like that's not even gonna happen. Cause I got a busy week at work. Well, relatively busy week at work. At least on at least Friday and Saturday is gonna be relatively busy for me. Um, so probably shoot for it. Maybe whenever I feel like it. That's how we're doing it. Maybe whenever I feel like it. But it should be up. Um, and then also, yeah, also too for the tower, I'm just gonna do 5 stars if necessary. You know, that's the caveat emptor. Gwen Pre. Let's see here. What are the rewards for this here? This is probably some content that I'm gonna do. I may do on screen, depending upon whether I feel like it's good or not, or whatever. It's a Plans are subject to change with the Gwen Pre, the towers whenever Puzzle Gauntlet. This is gonna be posted up whenever YouTube gets done processing all this here. I'm out. Be excellent to your fellow human beings, and until then, um, ice is not your friend. Till then, peace.